Okay, so we're gonna start with the Revit structure video. So we go to a structural template. Nalim, you say that you might prefer to use the architectural template. That should be fine. It's just the structural gives me some more options at the time that I need to export to do the structural detail. But if you want to work with architectural, that should be fine. Okay, use elevation to create two new levels. So I go to any elevation. In this case, I just select East. Well, my structural template is not in metric, so I'm gonna change the project units to mil. All right, and now I do the two levels. So 5,000 apart. So next, and then this one. That's okay. Nexus Light. Go to level 1, and use model line. Model line is here. So that's the drawing, that's the photos here. To create this boundary. So that's just drafting, like normal drafting. We just do like a square of 2000 by 1000. Sorry, it's not 1000, it's actually sorry, I just get back here. It's 10,000 by 20,000. All right. My particular preference, I just drag this to the center of the screen. That's just because I like to work like this, so it's not described in the slides. Next step, I go to Structure tab, Grids. Create one vertical and one horizontal grid by using Pick Lines command. So go Pick Lines here and here. Okay. Next. Select the vertical grid. So go back to Revit and just gonna extend this. Just this is not in the slides, so I just like to work just a little bit more organized. So just go to the vertical grid. Select it. And use array to place 5 vertical grids. So that's the here, down, here. I show the properties of the grid. So we just replicate that in our exercise. So array, show the icon here. And then, sorry, I just hit escape. Array, and we're gonna do last 5 here. Just go here, sorry, again, 5, so from here to here, yes, 5 is alright, and then same with the horizontal, we're gonna do 4 grids, so array, 4, and then from here to here, 4, alright. Next slide. Select vertical grids and ungroup. So I select all the vertical grids. Sorry, I just moved this. I lost my drawing. Okay. So all the vertical grids and ungroup. Same with these ones. And ungroup. Best way to see if something is ungrouped, if the group is dissolved, is just select the whole like all the grids, so it should be fine. Nexus Light. Modify grid names by double click on bubble, so we just on each bubble, so we're gonna change to replicate what is in the slides here. So this is gonna be A, B, C, D, E, and this is gonna be numbers, so 0. I'm just gonna stop the video just to make it shorter. Okay, so we name all our grids now, so we continue, go to structure column, place a column on A0, just 1 second here, just move that. Alright, A0, so we just place a column here. Right, Nexus Light, select and change the column properties, so we just select this column and change its properties to match what is shown on this side. So level 1, top level is level 3, base offset is actually 0, vertical, so it should be fine. Okay, I'm just gonna check in 3D view, that's what we have, it should be okay. Go back to level 1, Nexus Light. Use array and mirror tools to place columns along grids 0 and 3, 0 and 3. Alright, so we do the same as we did with the grids. I select the column and I'm gonna array element will be the attached, that's okay for now. So sorry, we're gonna put 5 repetitions because we need that member along all the ABCE. So a structural element BD attached, yes, we need 5 of them from here to here. That's okay. 5 should be fine. And I'm just gonna create a temporary grid here in the midpoint. Well, first I'm just gonna create, just gonna hide this grid 1 second. Hide element. Sorry, I don't know what happened. This grid is not meant to be there because I've got 2 grids, this A grid already. So this line, we're gonna find the center of this vertical line. We're gonna put a grid in the center line. I can't find it. Let's just use model line to do a line like this here, and we just create a grid here. Then we're gonna use a reference to copy our columns onto the this grid 3. We can also use the line, just the first line that I did, the model line, but I just did reference grid. I didn't put this in the slides because that's something we can say in class. They already know how to do grids. So basically it's just a drafting exercise. You just use this one as a reference to copy. So we select all our columns and mirror them. Alright, and ungroup columns, so same thing, we just go here. We have to select them individually probably, because otherwise it's selecting all the boundary and everything. So ungroup, same here, we select all the columns and ungroup. To select everything, I just use the control, like many elements, I just use the control key. We hide this grid before, so now we have to show it. So I'm hiding view elements, and that should be here. Right. So Nexus Light, go to structure, right, beam tool, and we're going to Nexus Light, use more lines in architecture to tap to mark the vertical center of the building boundary. So basically here I am describing the step that I did. So I basically create this vertical line and then like a grid to copy, to mirror these columns onto grid 3. So I already did this step. So we go to level 3 now, go to level 3, right? And create beams as shown. So beam 1 and beam 2. Alright, so we go beam 1, beam here to the mid grid, and then we're gonna create another beam from here to center. Alright, Nexus Light, go to 3D view, and correct pitch using a sketch arrows. So we select the this beam, and we're gonna put 500 shown here, and then 500 on this other. That's good. We have same scenario as the slides, so this one is longer, this one shorter. So we are going to correct this pitch. We can go to any elevation. I mean, could be the east elevation, and use the stretch lines to correct this pitch. All right, next slide. Go to level 3. Level 3. Level 3. Right, and use array tool to place beams. So along grids A to E. So basically same that we've been doing with copy and array. Select this beam, select this other beam, and then array from here to here, and then how many? 5. Good. And ungroup beams. So again, we select everything and ungroup. Just go to 3D view to see. Yeah, it looks like the example here. So we go to Nexus Light. Go to elevations and modify the level height. So let's go to the east elevation, for example. We're gonna modify this height to be 3000. And this one too. Sorry, 6,000. So I'm just gonna undo what I just did. I'm just gonna put here 6,000. See how, so what happens, so see how all the members, the structural members, the columns, they actually stretch to accommodate the change. So that's what we want to show the students, that in a structural module, you got a lot of flexibility when you need to do change in design, which happens quite often in a project environment. You are able to just change the shape of the building by modifying the grids, which is quite useful. This basically happens because if you see, if I select one column here, you see here move with grids. If we undo this, then when we move the grids, the building will not accommodate, like the column won't stretch like with the grid. So that's why when I have groups, like for example, if I have all these, I just put it in 3D. If I had all of these columns as a group and I didn't ungroup them, then that functionality of move with grids, it will not be active. So that's why I need to make sure there is no groups. Alright, so now it says set elevation distances as 3000, so we set this as 3000. I showed the guys in architecture, in the architecture class, the first class, how to lock these distances. So we're just gonna lock it, just basically go to this measure and lock this elevation here, and same here. I got 6000. I'm gonna change this to be 3000, and I'm gonna lock this here. If I want to unlock, it's just click on the lock here. They already know how to do this. I showed them in the first class, so that's why it's not detailed in the slides. So next, go to north elevation, so north, go to architecture tab, work plane, so architectural work plane, set work plane, and specify new work plane in grid 0. Alright, okay. And Nexus Light. Go to structure tab, brace, property panel, and edit type. So properties, edit type, and duplicate existing family and load the L angle. So we're just gonna call this L angle, just for the time being. Angle, alright. And we're gonna load this family as we show here. So in my computer might be in different location, but I show the path in here. So if we go to framing, structural framing, and then steel, and look for L angle. In my computer it's called M angle, but in the university it should be called just angle, because your template is already metric. So open and select 152 by 102 by 9.5. So 152, 9.5, that's this one. Okay, okay. Alright, Nexus Light. Go to drafting area and create bracing between A and B grids. So we go here. We're going to start creating our brace. Be careful you don't take the endpoint. So select the endpoints of the columns, not the roof. So that's the columns here. So the endpoint, not the midpoint, the endpoint is squared. So from here to here, and then from here to here. Finish. Okay, 3D view to see this. I'm just going to escape the command. Sorry, just delete this. I just did by mistake. And that's here. So if we rotate and put a shade, we notice that these two brace components are intercepting. So we're going to fix that. Next slide. So you stop 3D view. So we're just going to stop 3D view. Right. To correct the brace intersection. So select one brace. I select this brace. And go to justification points. I see that's the icon. It's here. All right. Select the outer corner line. So we got many lines here. So if you see, sorry, just put bigger now. So we got many lines here. We got this line, this line. So we got the outer will be the furthest. This one is in the edge. So brazing, so align brazing to the edge, outer corner line will be this one, right? And repeat process with second brace. So basically I select the brace, go to justification points and select the outer corner. So now I got the brace components aligned. If we see here in 3D, see how they're not intersecting. Sorry, the components are not intersecting anymore. Sorry. See, so like that, right? It says only require rotate the brace using cross-section fill points, but these members, if we see from closer, they facing back to back, so sometimes this might be 180 degrees rotated to the other side, so that's not a good joint, so that's when we have to rotate. But in this case we don't have to, so it should be fine. Use array and mirror to complete bracing. So basically same tools that we've been using for columns and framing. So we just go to, could be level 3 or level 1, select the, sorry, so let's level 1, just gonna put shade here, and level 3. So in both levels you can actually see the framing. We're just gonna put fine here so we can see our bracing. Fine, basically what I did is I changed the visibility. Might not be, I just gonna reduce the size of this screen. Sorry, so you can. So I just reduced the size of the screen so you can see my visibility settings. So all I did was, it was like this. Sorry. No, sorry. Here. It was in coarse. So I changed it to fine detail so I can see the slides. I like to work in hidden line. So we're just gonna select the bracing. Remember that it's 2 bracing, not only 1. Array. And then we go from here to here, right? How many repetitions? So 5. All right, actually we only need 4, so that's fine. And we select this first. I ungroup them, so it says, okay, in the instructions it doesn't say to ungroup yet, but I will do it eventually. So leave it like that for now, and we're just gonna mirror this. Right. So it should look something like, sorry, it says the, I just ungroup this. I think I didn't put that in the slides. So if you want to clarify this in the slides, Nalim, please. Yes, just to say that we need to ungroup this. Right, and it should be looking like here in the slides. Something like that. So it should be fine now. Okay, next slide. This select and drag any grid, what happened? So let's go to level 1, and like the example, just select grid B. This one is locked, so we cannot move, so we have to unlock. And let's move this grid to this side and go to 3D view. Let's see what happened. So see how when you move this, these members actually stretch to accommodate the change. So that's one of the greatest functionalities of Revit structure. This one didn't, these two brazing framing, they did not accommodate the change, but you can easily fix this by going to level 3. Change the type of detail, so we can see level 3. We can see the beams now, so all we have to do is use the stretch lines to put the grids in place again. So I just select this point here, which is the direction of the grid, of the member, and this one, that is the direction of the member, and use the stretch lines to connect them back. Right, so now it's working. But we're gonna do all these changes as it says here. So under changes, I just wanted to show how the structural members actually change when we do any modification on the grids. So we're gonna do these changes for now. So go here. I think we go to delete all these, probably to here. Let's go here. Yeah. So we undid that changes and go to Nexus Light. So that's how our building should be look like. That's good. Nexus Light. Specifying. Oh, sorry. Good. So specifying structural memory. So go to north elevation. So north. And create level 4 as shown. So we already have a level 4, so we're just going to change the height to 2500. Right? And then Nexus Light. Open new family. So open. I already have it loaded in my files, but and Aline, I put the I gave you the file, the folder where you can find this family. So I just open it here, and then it says use load info project. So that's the icon here. So we got our Z here and load info project. Click on there and go to project browser. So we are back in our project. Go to families, curtain walls, rectangular median, and then right click, new type. Alright, Nexus Light. So it says edit properties and rename it for set purlin. So we need to rename this as set purlin. Alright, and then double click to change the properties. So profile, set purlin, that's the family that we just load. Perpendicular to face, material, we just leave it as aluminum, that's fine. Okay, next slide. Okay, go to east elevation. So east. Go to architecture tab. Roof by extrusion, set working plane, I won't say for now, set working plane by name, grid E. Okay. Then it says here level 3, so we just put level 3. Okay. Nexus Light. Use pick lines and offset commands to achieve this result here. So offset 189 and pick lines is shown here, so it's here. Offset 189. So let's go closer, this and this. All right, go to finish command, right, Nexus Light. Change roof properties to slope glassing. So we just go here, slope glassing. Modify parameters of slope glassing as shown below. So, well, we modify the parameters, so edit type. We have modified parameters before, so they should know that parameters are in edit type by now. So we just go to core time panning, empty, not defined, none, layout, fixed distance here, and then 500 spacing, sorry, 500, none, and here rectangular. So it's just the family we just created, which is the set purlin. Set purlin and set purlin. Okay, apply, okay. So now we see our structural members to mount the roof here. All right, if we go to Nexus Light, so basically show us how it should look like. Let's go to 3D view. In my templates, I have these sort of members out my visibility as hidden. So if I go here, I see now my roof. So I'm hiding view. Yeah, this shouldn't happen in your computer. This is just my personal template. Since the roof is not covering the whole length of the building, I'm just going to stretch these members. This is something that if they work in architecture, they should be able to work out very easily. All right, that's the roof. Let's go to next slide. Go to level 2, so go to level 2. Select beam tool. We did beams before, so they should know that beam is in a structure. So go to beam and create beams along grids A and B. So A and B as shown. So that's one beam, that's the other one. So we create those ones. So that's one. And we're going to create another one. That's two. And we go to 3D view. That's how they look like. They can change if they want the properties, like different type of beam. I don't mind, just anything. And then next slide. Select beam system. Sorry. Select beam system, so we're just going to beam system. Sorry, we should be in level 2 again, as it says here, go to level 2. And select beam system. Sorry, we are already in beam system, I think, yeah, beam system. Modify the properties as shown, so 3D, elevation 0, 0, and here fixed distance, but we're going to change that for 600. So sorry, I have some problems with my keyboard, but it's 600 here. Fixed distance, all right. And we're gonna draw a system boundary using the draw tool. So that's the draw tools, and it's just a matter of drawing a rectangle as shown. So rectangle and finish. So we're gonna see in 3D view. Sorry, I might did it in wrong level. Just I'll do it again. Just undo everything. Probably close this, yes, and then go back. Make sure you are in level 2. So I'm back in level 2. Here. Good. Now we have this. Let's go to the next slide. Go to level 1. Select isolated footing. That's here. And in a structure tab here. So next slide. So select footing rectangular, which is here, edit type, and duplicate existing component and name it as building footings. Right, okay. Modify properties as shown, so here. So foundation thickness is 400. It might be in different order because I am using the updated version of Revit 2017, and this exercise was in 2016, but it's the same parameter. So width 1000 and here length 1000. Okay, I got my footing now. So use the same procedure to place we use to place beams to complete the foot positioning of footing. So I'll do that here, and then it's just a matter of array and mirror. I will stop the video so it's not too long, and I come back. Okay, don't forget to ungroup the footings. So ungroup. That's it. I just select everything to make sure that it's no groups. Okay, next slide. Our building should be looking like this. That's good. So next slide. So this, that's good. Next slide. Go to level 1. In a structure tab, select wall command. So wall, and then create, you can select any wall. So I select the structural, but you can select the architectural. That's more, it's no big difference. It's just when you move to another software like for steel detailing. So that's fine. I just select this one and create a wall by using pick lines command. So basically, I'm just gonna change my visibility to fine here, so I can see my outer member, which will be the brazing, and using so we are in wall command here, because we are modifying the wall command. We go to pick lines and select the finish face exterior and 235 mil offset. So from here, 235 mil. You can keep selecting each member, but what I will do is I just stretch this wall that we have. But before, we're just gonna check that the base constraint is level 1, good. Top constraint is level 0. Sorry, top constraint is level 3. And base constraint should be 0. So base constraint, sorry, not base constraint, but base offset. Here, I will change this in the slides. So basically, base offset, not constraint, should be 0. 0. All right. Now that we changed, so top constraint, sorry, is level 3, that's good. So now that I got this, I'm just gonna drag this wall and complete it up to grid E, and just select this wall, and I'm just gonna mirror to complete all the walls. I could just go through each you know, each and select the external, the outer brazing of each member here, but it will take longer. I just do a whole wall, and it will look better. Otherwise it will be like separate walls. So yeah, so we finish the wall and go to Nexus Light. In property panel, change the wall type to curtain wall. So select the walls. We're gonna change the properties of these walls. Sorry. Okay. Edit type, and we're gonna change these to curtain wall, right? And then exterior empty here. So let's look for empty. No, it's not that one. The one below. So empty. None. Vertical mullions, nothing. But horizontal mullions will be set purling. So all of them. Okay. Nexus Light. So it just shows me how the building should look like. So not quite, we're missing something here. Let's check in edit type, the configuration here, type properties. So we got exterior, none. Oh, I was missing this step here. So look here, fixed distance. So we just have to put here fixed distance. And here 1200. Adjust, apply. Now it's looking good. So if we go back to the slides, that's how it should look. Well, in our example, it looks blue here because we have it in different setting for visibility. But if we go to hidden line, that's how it looks like. So very similar to what we have in the slides. So basically, all these black point dots are like a guide for where we need to put any like connections, and that's what I explained in the Autodesk Advanced Steel slide. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit about detailing and how Revit and Advanced Steel have like an add-in that you can put in Revit. It's actually here, add-in, Advanced Steel extension, and you can use this one as a basic, like a concept model that you can export into Advanced Steel and do all your plates like welding or connection, bolted connections or anything, and it's quite useful. So that's all the black dots. It's just for indication of where connection should be. Okay, thank you, appreciate, bye.